Fun Fishing is brought to you by Fisherman's Warehouse, Double X Tackle, and Vance's Tackle. Alan, remember when I had the Superman shirt on and I tried out fishing?
Oh yeah, it didn't work.
Well, look at this.
You gotta be kidding me. Fun fishing, plus you got it on backwards. Right, yeah, fish on!
Fishing is fun, but catching fish is funner.
Oh, fish tried to attack.
Winter, spring, or summer. From the Sacramento River to the San Francisco Bay, we're gonna show you how to catch some fish today. Salmon, bass, or trout, halibut's what it's all about. Stripers on the Delta, Alan and Warren will help ya.
Stand like a man, now quit standing like a woman. Finish! Oh no! You need help? I got him! Here, give me your... It slipped! It slipped!
Whoa!
You gotta be kidding me. Fish on!
Fishing is fun, but hooking is the only way. We're gonna show you how to catch some fish today.
Welcome to Fun Fishing. I'm Warren Trumbley.
I'm Alan Fong. We're down in the Delta, and we're gonna be doing some striper fishing.
All right, and we're trolling for stripers.
Yeah, we're gonna troll. We're down here with Mark Wilson, and we're gonna teach you how to troll.
Mark, can you tell us what you're doing here with the trolling?
Yeah, we're shallow water trolling today. It's a new technique. It's probably been around for quite a few years, but more and more people are picking up on it. And we're into shallow water where the fish will get out of the current. They'll come in and get closer to structure and look for fish. And it's quite effective because a lot of times the fish move into shallower water looking for, around the structure, looking for baits and that. We are trolling fast in the shallow water. It's strictly a reaction bite, and we're trolling between 4 and 6 miles an hour today.
How deep?
And we're in about 7 to 9 foot of water, trying to maintain around 7.5 feet. Keeping that lure close to the bottom where the fish are looking for something to eat.
Can you see him on the meter?
I can see them on the meter when we go across the fish, but most of the time in shallow water, you don't have much of a cone angle.
Yeah.
When you do go over a fish, it has to be directly into the cone, and that might one right there, but it's so fast, it's just a little spike mark.
Yeah.
But what really tells is when they hit the lures that we're trolling here today, and then we're trolling fast with a loose drag and the clickers on, and when they hit, they really go. When we're trolling along, we ought to keep a real good eye on the rod action, because the rod actions are wobbling real good, and I can tighten that up a little bit by more speed, or I could wobble it a little more by slowing down, but we had a hit already, so I'm going to maintain this speed. But if you pick up little grasses or debris, that wobbling will stop, and that will indicate to you that that lure is not working. And then you have to either jerk it, clear it, or reel it in and reposition everything to get that thing back to where it's working like that. That's really a big indicator right there, is how that rod is working, the action of that lure.
So when you get grass on your hook, you don't get no fish, right?
That's correct. If that is not working properly, whether you got grass or whether it's tangled or if it's running untrue, you're not going to get
fish. Yeah. Good indication. And that braid line, usually when you rip it real hard, the grass will come
right, because it's a no-stretch line. And also because it's a no-stretch line, it telegraphs the action a lot better to the rod. Monofilament won't show that good.
Nope.
Did you get a fish, Alan?
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, man.
Finally. He ain't very big.
Oh, you caught a weed.
No, I got one. Where is he?
Where's the fish? He come off.
He might have.
Yeah.
No, my line's out there. That's his line. I got him.
Oh, there he is.
Little guy. That's a wonker.
Oh. When they get hooked, they can get hooked.
You got all 3 hooks in. He's too little.
18 inch, 17 and a half. Down in this Delta system, we're not too far away from the big metropolis of Sacramento and Stockton and all these other locations. We're only an hour's drive down here, and we've got all this fishing. And if you go south into the San Joaquin system, it is really a big maze of waterways down there. And the fishing that we have down here goes on year-round, and we've got big fish if you like to target sturgeon and stripers and salmon and steelhead and catfish, and there's just a mirage of things. Bluegill and crappie reside down here, and they're here year-round. You can just come down here and do a lot of fishing and enjoy yourself and get out here. There's a lot of wildlife scenery to see. It's really a good place to be, and we're really close to Sacramento. But there's not really overuse anymore like it used to be. We have a few boats working today, but we got plenty of room. And most of the time, you come down here, I fish during the summer quite a bit, and I may see one boat a day in this particular area. Now the bass guys, there's a few more of them on the other side when they're fishing in the Tules and stuff like that. But no, we got a lot of room down here, and we got a lot of action.
Alan, what are the limits?
You're allowed 2 a day, and they have to be 18 inches or longer.
Okay.
And yours will be 18, mine will be longer.
Oh, man. Well, I brought a ruler.
I got a yardstick.
Oh, man.
I'm just playing. It's a keeper.
Look at that.
Watch out for the hooks.
Man.
You got a keeper.
Hey, I caught a fish.
Yeah, all right, you got a keeper.
Did you get another fish, Alan?
Yep.
Oh, man. I never get a chance to get my line in the water.
That's normal. This one's a little bigger, not much. So.
This is fun fishing.
Yeah.
Well, while you're bringing that in, why don't we go to commercial break?
All right.
Fun Fishing is brought to you by XX Tackle, Fisherman's Warehouse, and Vance's Tackle. You did all right, Alan.
Yeah, that's number 2.
Number 2. It's a little bit bigger, too.
Not a size 4-pounder, but we're going to keep this one because look where the hook is.
Yeah. Man, he swallowed that thing.
He swallowed it way down there.
Okay.
Yeah, he saw that skull on the graph.
Yep.
About 4.5-pounder.
Yeah. That's a good eating size.
Yeah. Okay, fish on. Oh. Oh my gosh. Ooh.
This is a big one for you.
Wow. About time, huh?
Yep.
Okay. We'll pass that. Alan, let's talk about the equipment, the tackle we're using. Can you explain?
Yeah, we're just using Rebels and bombers. And then, like the shallow runner bombers we were using this morning, we're down like 7 feet. This is a deep diving Rebel because we moved into like 10 to 12 feet. We're marking a lot of fish, and then we got the plastic worm on the tail.
Okay.
One of the more important things when you put this worm on, it's got to be on the hook that's either straight up or straight down. So it's got to be straight, otherwise their lure will swim crooked. And these are modified. They got, hook changes. We changed the hooks out to 2 extra strong.
Okay, so these are extra strong hooks. These aren't the ones that came with the lure.
They're changed out.
Okay. So they're kind of hyped up little things here.
Yep, just so you don't lose a big fish when you hook that big one.
All right. And let's talk about the line too. This is monofilament.
This is monofilaments, 25, 30-pound test.
Okay.
And we're using 30-pound braid.
Okay, and then we have the swivel on here.
Yep, snap swivel on there. It's just like a shock leader.
Okay, that gives a little bit of shock. And then the rod, is anything special with the rods?
We use that's a glass rod. Mine's a glass.
Okay.
Where you can see the action in the lure better, and it actually works better for trawling.
Okay, so you need a soft tip on the rods, or a
And
fast action.
they're the
tackle?
same rating, like 10 to 20, just like our regular graphite rods,
Okay.
except they're more forgiving. So
Okay.
they move more like, they'll move with the lure.
All right. Okay, and then the reels.
Reels, we're using line counters, so you can let out and know exactly how far you got out behind the boat. Because, like Mark was saying this morning, he'll tell you 100 feet, 120 feet, 140 feet. You can just look on here and tell how far you're out.
Okay.
I don't use one, but you know, like,
Yeah. Well,
my buddy here needs a line
those that
counter.
are distantly challenged. Okay. And the
It's just easier with a line counter.
and these are what 7
7
foot rods?
foot rods.
Okay. All right. So that's the equipment.
Yep.
It's-
Pretty simple when you're trolling.
Okay.
But make sure that, you know, on these that they track straight. You can get a lure out of the box and it won't track straight from the beginning. Give it to your buddy.
Okay. And we use a clip on the lure and we tie the leader on there.
Yep.
We tie the leader onto a swivel and it's clipped on up above. So
Yep.
we can change these pretty quick, can't we?
Correct. Real easy.
Okay. Well,
Let's go back fishing.
let's catch another fish.
All right.
Woo, that was
He
fun.
finally got one.
Yeah, really. Okay. Sean. Oh. It's a monster, Alan.
Yeah, right. You sure you got one? I don't see your
know.
rod wiggling.
Whoa. Oh. Look at that thing.
What? You got one?
Go. Yeah, right down here.
Where? Hey, wait. Oh, nice one. Don't lift them out of the water. Wait.
See, look at that fish.
You got a nice one.
There we go. Whoa.
Yeah.
I got
You
lucky.
got one.
All right. Oh. Hey, this is really fun fishing.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's because
Just
I'm
kidding.
catching him and you're not. Look at that, Alan.
Yeah, double hitter.
Fun Fishing is brought to you by Fisherman's Warehouse, Double X Tackle, and Vance's Tackle.
Hey, Warren, let's have Mark give us a little bit on how we're doing this, the techniques, and how we're catching these fish.
Okay.
So, Mark, you want to explain what we're doing?
Yeah, we started off this morning shallow water trolling about 7 to 9 feet. We're trolling bombers at pretty good speed, 140 feet behind the boat, doing 4 to 6 miles an hour. Now, we didn't have much of a bite there, and we had a backup plan. The backup plan was to come down here in the Broad Slough area and do a little trolling with rebels going a little deeper in the 10 to 14, 10 to 15 foot of water. And we slowed down for that. As you can see on the lure here, on the fish, we have a lure stuck in there we just caught. That's a rebel. We're trolling it at about 2 to 3 mile an hour in about 10, 12 foot of water, and we're looking for schooling fish up on these little shoals and these little places. And we found a few, and we've been getting bit, and then they scatter. Hopefully we get a little better tide here pretty soon, and they might come back in, and we might get some more action. But
Alan, how important are tides when we striper fish?
Tides are very important. You know, learning what outgo and incoming is, you know, you'll catch a lot more fish. But tides are very important, and also the drop, which gives you the velocity and how fast they go. And I'm sure, like Mark, you travel around the delta around here according to the tides.
Correct.
See, so
you
very
and I were
important.
talking earlier, and you were talking about tides, and you like moving tides. When I'm plugging, when I'm spooning, I like moving tides.
Yeah.
When I'm trolling, it's the opposite way. I want the dead tide. So most of your productive time trolling is around the dead tides, whether it's high or whether it's low.
Uh-huh.
Now, on a high tide, usually a clearing tide, because you have the incoming, which is a clearing tide, and then on the low tide, it's a dirtier tide because of the velocity of the outgoing with the river push.
Yeah.
And then you have your big tides, your small tides. But the fish environment is tidal effective down here. And
Yes,
you have
it
to
is.
learn how they react
Oh, yeah.
to certain parts of the tide.
And that's what I explained to a lot of people is that the only way you could do it is keep going. And you learn to document when you caught them, how fast the tide was moving, and you'll catch more fish.
Probably the two most important things to me on trolling for stripers is the tides, number one. You got to troll around those dead parts of the tide and the soft tides. And the second most important thing is the action of that lure. And the action of that lure you can see on your rod tip when it's in the water, when it's working. And if that lure isn't working, whether it's got debris on there or if it's got a screwed up worm tail on there, it might be wrapped around, or it's not tuned properly, you are not going
could
to
tell.
catch fish.
Yeah, you could really tell by watching your rod tip.
Well, let's go watch a rod tip.
Let's go.
Let's catch some
All right,
fish.
I'm ready to go get some more.
Yep, we
Big
need-
ones ought to start showing up now.
That guy's getting ornery, isn't he?
Well,
Okay.
you would too if you were hanging.
Out of the water
With my
for
lip.
5 minutes.
Oh, man.
Here, Warren, you can have it.
Oh, man.
Here.
You got one, Alan.
No, here. Here.
What, is this a mercy fish?
Give me my rod.
Okay.
Nah, it's a little one. It's foul hook.
Oh, that's why you handed it to me.
You got him. He's foul hook.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's hooked across the
Yeah.
face. He's all right. He's a little nicer. Shallow trolling. You got one.
Boy, look at that. He really got wrapped up, didn't he?
Wonder why he didn't swim. He's all tied up. Watch out for that
We'll be
hook.
back with more fun fishing.
Fun Fishing is brought to you by XX Tackle, Fisherman's Warehouse, and Vance's Tackle. I got another fish.
That's a bigger one.
Woo! Turn the clicker off. I'm getting lucky, Alan.
Well, you got one?
That's grass. Whoa! You didn't like being pulled in.
They usually don't.
Holy mackerel.
Does it feel heavy?
It feels heavy. I don't think he started a fight yet. Oh, that's a nice fish.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice one. 10 pound.
Whoa! Look at that.
Beauty.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that? That's fun fishing.
There's quite a few big fish to be caught, but in reality, around California, a 30-pounder or a 40-pounder is a good-sized fish, and rarely a 50 or a 60. Stripers get pretty good size. I was lucky enough to catch one a few years ago. It was 51 pounds, which I have mounted on my wall. And the California state record is somewhere around 72 pounds. And the freshwater record was caught just recently in O'Neill Forebay at 67 pounds. The world record caught on the East Coast is somewhere around 78 pounds. And there have been fish caught in nets, commercial fishermen, up over 100 pounds. So there's quite a few big fish to be caught.
So, Alan, what's the largest striped bass you've ever caught?
Mine's easy to remember. I caught it 2 years ago on Christmas Day. Yeah,
That's quite a Christmas
yeah,
present.
I was out here on Christmas Day. We were the only ones out here. But it was a little over 40 pounds.
I can't understand why you'd be the only one out on Christmas Day.
I'm the only one that has an understanding wife. Either that or she don't like me.
Ooh, we won't go there.
But yeah, it was on Christmas Day, 40 pounds, light tackle, 5 feet of water. You know, like, you know the show we did on swim baits where you caught that? How big was yours?
It's about 40? No, 27 pounds?
Yeah, it's same kind of scenario, you know, light tackle and on a fish trap.
Wow. Okay. Well,
So,
we've had a great time today. We've talked
Yeah, we
about
did.
trolling, shallow trolling and deep trolling.
Mhm.
And we've caught quite a few fish.
yeah, we did. We had a good time, caught quite a few fish, just nothing big, but we caught a lot of fish, and I think it's a little early, but, you know, they've been, Mark's, you know, who took us out today, has been catching some big ones. But every time we bring that camera, the fish shrink.
We'll use Photoshop, friends.
Yeah, I hope you all learned a lot today.
Come back and join us next week on
Fun fishing.
Fishing is fun, but catching fish is funner. Whether it's autumn, winter, spring, or summer. From the Sacramento River to the San Francisco Bay, we're gonna show you how to get some fish today. Salmon, bass, or trout, halibut's what it's all about. Stripers on the Delta, Alan and Warren will help ya.
Our camera guy was out fishing the other day and he fell out of the boat. He couldn't get back in. The best way to do it is swim back to the back of the boat.
Okay.
put your feet on there. That trim button right here.
Right here.
Trim it up. There you go. Climb in. That's how you get back in the boat if you ever had to. Now, if he could do it, anybody could do it. Use your motor, trim it back up, and you just climb right in.
Alan, wait for me! Hey!
Fishing is fun, but hooking is the only way. We're gonna show you how to catch some fish today.